All right, so I figured I'd do a quick video on how to change a flat tire. I'm gonna try and do this with one hand. Forgive me if the camera motion isn't good or the shots aren't good. Anyway, want to do this because I know a lot of people carry, uh, tire wrenches, tire iron things with them. You don't need that to do a flat tire. I'm gonna show you how I do them. So I'm gonna hold the phone with my knees and try and kind of show you guys. So when you get the flat, that's when you normally would use the tire levers to pull it off. Here's what I do is I bend it back, and then with these fingers here, I push and pull up. And I see how that's kind of held there. So I just keep doing that all the way around till the tire comes loose. Now you can see here I've got a little bit of the bead off. At that point, you can just roll it down and pull straight down. And this is a pretty tight wheel too. So now your tire is completely off at that point. So now I'm gonna try and set the camera up in a way to show you guys how to put the tire back on. That's kind of the tricky part. So let's give this a shot. We'll go like this. And we'll try and do it this way. So first thing you want to do, I'm putting a new tire on. Obviously, you would take your old tire and check it for stickers. So you do that by running your thumb through the tire, and I'm going to be doing that to this one just to get it kind of to shape here. And this is the easiest way I've found to do a tire. Now on these gator skins, you got to pay attention because they only go one way. They're only supposed to go one way with the tread. So you can look on this side of the tire, but the flat part of this little guy is supposed to be going, the direction's going that way. So first thing you do, you got your new tube. What you're gonna do, first thing, if you're on the side of the road and you're using CO2, I just take this, open the valve up, and then blow into it with my mouth. So because I have a pump here, makes it a little easier. I'm just gonna hit it with a shot of air, but I'm just showing you can do it with your mouth. I do it with my mouth every time I get a flat. So we'll just hit this with a shot of air. The reason why I put air in it to start, just a little tiny bit, and it's just so that it's easier to avoid pinching the tube when you're installing it and then getting a pinch flat. So you got your tire, you got your tube, you kind of lay your tube in your tire. If you want to be pro about it, you line up your valve stem with your logo. It's just something that the pros do, so, or the pro mechanics. So that's what you do if you want to be like them. I normally don't really care. Okay, so now we got our valve stem lined up with our logo. So now you take your wheel, you find where your valve stem goes through. Let's see, I want to make sure I get this on camera. Okay, so now what I do is I'm gonna move over here. Okay, so I set my stem through the wheel like that. Then what you do is you get one full edge of the tire around the wheel. And that should be pretty easy on most wheels. Like I said earlier, this wheel, the tires are really tight on, so you guys are probably gonna see me struggle with this guy a little bit, and that's okay, because then you can see kind of what it takes to get a tire on in real life. Okay, so I've got it all, one edge of the tire on all the way around. So now you go back up to your valve stem here, and I kind of poke it up, make sure that tube's in, because what we're trying to avoid right now is a pinch flat, or a future pinch flat. So I roll this edge of the tire in while maintaining the back with my thumbs, and you just kind of get it started there. making sure the tube isn't pinched in between and the tube is actually set in the wheel. So see how I'm going around evenly? Now I've got this whole edge that's done. So I'll go around evenly, and then as I get to the other end, it's gonna start to get a little bit tighter. And that's when you're gonna start seeing, you can see the tube hanging down here. So that's what happens when you get a pinch flat. Most flats on bicycles are from a pinch flat. What happens is the tube gets pinched in between the side of the wheel and the tire. So you need to make sure that you're not having it pinched in there. And that's why I blow the tube up first, because it's easier to roll the tube into the wheel and avoid the pinch flat. And then another cool thing about it is if you get to this last, I'm trying to show you guys, there we go. If you get to this last edge right here and it's too tight to put on, what you can do is let a little bit of air out of the tube and it'll make it easier to get it on. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of feeling with my fingers underneath as I go along that the tube isn't pinched in there and that it is set in place. And because we blew air into it, it's made it easier to feel that and to get the tube set in. Now you're gonna get to this last part here and it's gonna feel really, really hard. You don't wanna pull in the middle and try and pull it on. You won't be able to do it. What you gotta do is work from one side to the other and just slowly make sure first that there's no tube in between the tire here and the wheel here. Right now I can feel my tube because there's air in it. I can feel, my iPhone's dying. I can feel that it's not pinched in there. So just starting here, barely any force, sliding up, and then you just heard it pop. Now the whole tire is on, and it took really little energy. I've seen really strong guys struggle and not be able to get tubes on, and it's just a matter of mechanics. You just got to kind of work it on and slide it on, and you know, practice makes perfect. So I suggest before you go out and cycle and do this on the side of the road with cars screaming by you and tired and fatigued, I suggest doing this, what I just did, 5 to 10 times in your living room, just to get practice and confidence in doing it. That way when you go out and you get a flat in real life, you can have it changed in a few minutes. So anyway, this is ready to go. We'll pump it up now. Open that valve up and you can hear a little bit of air coming out. And we'll pump it up, and then you want to check and make sure that there is no pinch flats. So I'll put about, I don't know, 40 PSI in this, and then I just go around with my fingers and make sure I didn't accidentally miss any of it. Now if you're using CO2, you're not going to get that luxury. You're going to have to just put all your air in one shot and make sure that you didn't miss anything. So there we are, there's 100 PSI. I'm gonna give him 120, just so he doesn't have to refill his tires right away. And that's it, that's how you change a flat. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down below. I'm just gonna go through, make sure the wheel's sealed up. We're good to go. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.